the situation is what I will call the journey through the wasted years. The engagement with the British actually provided a good platform for Nigeria to start the growth that it needed, much needed. 45 million at 1960, and as at that time, the currency $1, 1 naira was exchanging for well over $2. Just at the same time, the Kuwaiti dinar from Kuwait was exchanging for 3 USD or 3.5 USD to 1 Kuwaiti dinar. So they all started this journey at the same time. But over time, with Kuwait, the situation remains almost the same to today. And with Nigeria, there was this time between 1960 and after independence, Nigeria had 9 years of civil rule and 29 years of military rule. So the military rule was a system of unchecked powers, and nobody's able to look into what they're doing. And the population grew tremendously from 45 million into the hundreds. And before 1999, when the military actually left power. So this, what I will structurally call the journey through the wasted years. There were years to which the capacity of the country should have been built. The developmental needs of the country should have been well taken care of. And it's supposed to be a period of planning, and they ended up being wasted years. So we want to take, for example, palm oil. Nigeria was producing about 45% of the world palm oil.
So, and this was through its establishment when it was still part of the British Empire.
Exactly.
And the military rule changed this.
Exactly. So from 45 million citizens to about 120 million citizens without laying the framework for critical infrastructure, you know what that will mean. So it was unchecked management on the side of military regimes, as well as you know, and wheat production and perennial agri problems now became the norm. And you will understand what deepened corruption is when it's unchecked, and which has compounded over time. So these have been the situations and the issues that the country has had with those journey through the wasted years. So for the way I see this, I think we should all learn a lesson. And for younger folks, for example, if they have any little situation, or even great situation, they seem to fall into a false dichotomy that whenever you have a problem, just call the military to fix it. Mm-hmm. And they can always look back and learn a very hard lesson that this is the part of the reason the structural problems the country has, or the structural problem this country has had, mm-hmm. has been traced to a time when power was unchecked by some people who ruled the country for about 3 decades. So today, what should country be doing? What should everybody be doing? Well, for me, there are lots of crises in the country that I hear of. And I think most times it's so easy, they draft in the military. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a major security challenge. Can we just send in the soldiers to go fix it? I think it should be like a warning mm-hmm. that you don't want to get the military involved in almost everything you're doing.
Because that's a historical basis.
Because of the historical basis.
In the sense that the military has never really led the country in the right way. Now, I have a question. For the people who were in the military, would you say that they were also educated, or were they people who were uneducated who then were just given power? And as a result, were they also people who then decided not to educate their citizenry?
Okay, the point is, when you have unchecked powers, this is what happens. You could be well educated, but if you're given power, nobody checks the power, then you could misuse it. And you could abuse those that are not as educated as you. So it depends, it's a two-edged sword. Mm-hmm. It depends on how it's deployed. So you can know so much over people to cheat them, mm-hmm. or you can know so much over people to help them. So it has been a situation where there were so many opportunities in those days, and it was a group of young people who were the soldiers then, who were probably now competing for power. And if this one takes over today, the other one is waiting in the wings to take over and all of that. And those were the times that Nigeria actually wasted. So the citizens need to learn a lesson that one of the structural problems that we have had is because those that were not supposed to manage you managed you. And we have to learn a lesson from the countries that are successful today. You look at the USA, for example. Why is it so admired? Because not one person has so much power over it. It's a democracy, and it's the reason why it is flourishing. Then one person, institutions speak, not people.
Yes.
So when people say the wrong things, they don't even get enforced in the first place. So we just have to learn this, and we have to make sure that this is exactly what we take away from this conversation.